Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a deep dive into Toshi Coin, T-O-S-I. And our mission really is to answer a question we got, why Toshi? In this crowded crypto world, what makes this one tick, if anything? So to figure it out, we've looked at a bunch of stuff. There's a Reddit thread, pretty lively, with community thoughts, plus, hard data from KuCoin, and a good article from BitTime as well.
That's right. And as we get into it, you'll see Toshi Coin isn't quite your typical meme coin flash in the pan. The sources, they show this evolution, layers of utility, a really interesting community story. It kind of explains its path.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this then. What is Toshi Coin like at its core? Where did it start?
Okay, so basically it's a meme coin. Launched in 2023. The name's pretty smart, actually. It's partly Brian Armstrong's cat. He's the Coinbase co-founder, and partly Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin's creator. But it's more than just a name game. Toshi's positioned itself pretty strategically as the official mascot for Base. Base, Coinbase's layer 2 blockchain, right, aligned with Ethereum. So that gives it a certain standing right away.
That is interesting. A real pet, a crypto legend, and mascot for a major L2. Sounds like it had maybe a bit of a head start.
Yeah, you could say that. It definitely did. And the sources really hammer home this community focus. The goal was clear. The top meme coin on Base. By really leaning into that strong community, the meme culture, and that community part, it's not just talk. It seems pretty fundamental to their strategy for sticking around.
Right, okay. And this is where you said it gets really interesting. It started as a meme, but it's evolved. How does it do more than just being, a cute cat mascot? What is the actual utility?
It really has moved beyond that initial stage. Toshi's rolled out several different use cases, tools too. First, governance. It's moving towards being a full DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization called MEOW DAO. This step is pretty big. It gives Toshi holders actual governance power. It shifts control away from a central team to the community itself, which for something born as a meme is quite a move. It sort of cements that decentralized idea.
Okay, so it's genuinely trying to decentralize, giving power back to the holders. That's a big step up from just being a meme, democratizing its own future.
Exactly. And then you've got NFToshis. These are unique NFTs. They were first offered as a free mint, actually, just for Toshi holders. They kind of represent community identity, but they also unlock things like exclusive events or maybe other benefits. And these NFToshis, they're not just, digital art. They're unique collections, secured on the blockchain, authentic, and crucially, they have utility within the system, like voting rights in the MEOW DAO and access to those special events.
So the NFTs are more than just collectibles. They're like a membership card with perks and power. How does that really, strengthen the community feel?
Well, it creates layers, right?
Yeah.
Holding an NFToshi means you're maybe a bit more invested, a bit more in, you get a voice, you get special access. It probably helps build that sense of belonging, makes people care more about the project's success. But beyond that, Toshi also offers practical tools specifically for developers building on Base. We're talking things like a Toshi token locker, good for vesting team tokens, a lock viewer for transparency, a liquidity locker, which is super important for securing liquidity. Then there's Toshi Swap, a DEX aggregator, a multi-sender for bigger transactions, even a launch pad for new projects.
Wow. Okay.
These aren't just nice to haves. They're like foundational tools for projects wanting to build trust and show they're serious. Especially for a meme coin project to offer things like token and liquidity lockers that directly tackles the fear of scams, of rug pulls. It signals they're in it for the long haul, not just a quick pump and dump.
So Toshi's not just the face, it's actually becoming part of the plumbing, the infrastructure within Base. That's quite an evolution from a cat picture.
Right. And one more thing on utility, you can actually use Toshi to buy stuff, goods and services within the Base ecosystem. So it has a practical use beyond just trading or holding it, which, again, is a step many meme coins don't take.
Okay, so pulling it all together, what started as a meme now has real strategic utility. Governance, NFTs with perks, developer tools, even actual use in transactions, all integrated into this growing Base network. It's definitely starting to answer that why Toshi question. Quite the journey for a digital cat.
Yeah, and what's really striking reading through the sources is just how central the community is to everything Toshi does. It's constantly described as, strong, active, positive, confident. People talk about insanely steadfast holders. One person even said the community is one of, if not the most important aspect of a token. They mention the diamond hems a lot. This isn't just hype, it seems. It's this collective belief that gives it a kind of stability.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And how is that translating into the wider market? Is this strong community actually helping Toshi expand its reach, get noticed?
It seems to be, quite visibly actually, and in some interesting ways. The sources mention it's listed on a lot of exchanges now, centralized ones, CEXs, and decentralized, DXs, including big names like Coinbase itself and Kraken Perps. That Perps means perpetual futures, leveraged trading. That suggests deeper liquidity, more serious trader interest.
Right.
But beyond the digital listings, they're doing physical stuff too, like numerous billboards around the United States, including, get this, a live billboard in Times Square.
Hold on, Times Square.
Seriously.
For Toshi, like up there with the big brands?
Apparently so. It's a statement, a real visual.
Wow. That's unexpected.
Definitely. And there's Toshi merch apparently in the works too, to build that brand connection in the real world. Plus, it consistently ranks top 1 or 2 among base meme coins. And base itself is growing fast. Massive adoption is the phrase used, and maybe the biggest informal nod. The community and even Coinbase folks apparently are calling Toshi the face of base.
The face of base. That's a strong tagline.
It is. And then there's this one claim, pretty wild, that Toshi has at certain points actually beat Bitcoin in terms of volume.
Whoa, really? Beat Bitcoin? Even briefly, that's huge.
Yeah, extraordinary claim, probably very brief moments, but it shows intense activity spikes. Also, it's held in over 500,000 wallets, which one source argues makes a rug pull seem pretty unlikely just because it's so widely distributed. And the big money seems interested too. Sources mention whales are putting massive amounts of money into Toshi, like $100K up to $5 million chunks.
When you hear about whales dropping millions, it really drives home that this isn't just about the tech, is it? It's this collective belief, this momentum, that human factor, those diamond hands. How much does that really set Toshi apart, do you think?
Well, it creates a kind of resilience, that you don't often see, especially with newer projects. That dedicated community almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It attracts more serious money, more talent, because people see the stability, the long-term vibe.
Okay. But we have to talk about the other side. No investment is risk-free, especially crypto. The listener asked, why Toshi? Which implies looking at the downsides too. So what are the cons, the red flags to watch out for?
Absolutely crucial point, yeah. Despite all the utility we talked about, you have to remember, Toshi is still fundamentally a meme coin. That means it's not like investing in, say, NVIDIA stock with traditional revenue streams and assets. And critically, it's not a stable coin. Its value can swing wildly. It's definitely susceptible to market crashes. That volatility is inherent. And the sources do lay out some warning signs, things that could signal trouble for any crypto coin, Toshi included, like sharp price drops if it suddenly plummets and doesn't seem to find any support level. Low trading volume is another bad sign, shows people are losing interest. Negative news, any kind of controversy that can scare investors off fast. And poor development activity. If the team just isn't shipping updates or seems to be losing passion, that's a big red flag, signals potential abandonment.
Right. So it's not just external market stuff. You have to watch the project's internal health too, what the team is actually doing.
Exactly. And tokenomics matter. If the token distribution is really imbalanced, like way too much supply held by just the developers or one person, that can scream rug pull risk, or it's just generally unhealthy for the token's long-term price. Also, community disengagement, if that strong, positive vibe starts to fade, if people lose confidence, that's a major warning sign for a project built on community. And the ultimate red flag, of course, is developer disengagement. The classic rug pull. Devs go silent, delete socials, move funds. Game over, usually. Now, for Toshi specifically, the tokenomics mentioned are a total supply of 400.69 billion tokens, all circulating. One potential positive noted is this deflationary mechanism. A small percentage of each transaction gets burned, which over time reduces the total supply. That could potentially increase scarcity, maybe value. But even with that mechanism, the source stress investing here is still risky. That market volatility is always lurking.
That's a really important point. In a space like crypto, where the potential upside seems huge, being able to spot those warning signs, that's incredibly valuable for making smart choices, protecting yourself. Okay, so there we have it, our deep dive into Toshi Coin. We've traced it from, a cat meme origin through its quite strategic evolution into something with real utility. We're talking governance, NFTs, developer tools, and this incredibly strong community backing driving its market presence, billboards and all.
Yeah, and we've also covered the essential caveats, the risks involved. It's a fascinating case study, Toshi. It shows some unique strengths for a meme coin, but it definitely lives in that very volatile crypto world. No escaping that.
So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, to chew on is this. Considering Toshi's journey from cat meme to multi-utility asset, backed by this massive community belief. What does its story really tell us about what drives value and influence in this wild, evolving world of DeFi? Something to think about.